from an educational point of view, I think we need to see tech than more than just the internet.
Yeah.
Tech will benefit us as Africans because we have a lot of untold stories,
Yes.
right? The minute
You can see how engaged this place is. And this is just outside the main event. If you go into the main hall, it's filled up with different people. There are different sessions going on.
Diagnostic health is one of the challenges when you go into the rural areas,
Yeah.
being able to go to a doctor and get the right diagnosis.
Our vehicles are safe, our vehicles are affordable, they are comfortable and predictable.
There's no one that's talking about the stories of African startups and businesses in Africa.
Here with my brother all the way from Dubai. You know, I always look for events to share with you. Today I'm right here in Nairobi, and to shock you that there is this event that has been happening here yearly, and I'm sure some of you have never heard of it. Today I have Ifeanyi to tell us a little bit about this event, and also to share with me, if this is his first time visiting Nairobi, what is his first impression of Nairobi. My brother from Dubai, how is it?
Very well, thank you.
How was your journey coming in?
Oh, it was amazing. It was pretty straightforward. I came from Dubai on Monday, so I'm here for the Africa Tech Summit.
Wow.
So tech is pretty much an amazing industry in Africa and different parts of the world. So for those that don't know me, I run TechSoma. So TechSoma.Africa, TechSoma.me, and TechSoma.ca. So we're a platform, we capture the vibrance of technology that happens in different regions, from Africa to the Middle East to North America, and we're here especially for this event. Now, the Africa Tech Summit is an event that brings people from all across Africa and different parts of the world to come and chart the next course of tech for the next year. So here we celebrate some of the biggest wins for tech. For example, there have been a few announcements already of investment. There was Raynesh announced their $11 million funding raise here, and then a couple of other, there's Amplify Africa. There are a lot of other platforms that have raised here. So every year, the tech community in Africa looks forward to coming to Nairobi. So this event holds in Nairobi every year. There are other versions of the event that hold in London, that hold in different parts of Africa as well.
So how is the publicity for this event? Is it only
today as part of this event where the Director of Payments of the Central Bank of Kenya was at the event to discuss some of the amazing things that they are doing over the next couple of months in Kenya Tech. So every year we hear new revelations in terms of how the platform the content is distributed. They are everywhere on social media. They have billboards, they have a lot of PR, a lot of publicity that goes out about the event. You can see how engaged this place is, and this is just outside the main event. If you go into the main hall, it's filled up with different people. There are different sessions going on, from master classes to keynotes. So it's a very exciting thing, but it's particularly looked forward to by industry professionals because it gives a chance for them to collaborate with other professionals in the fields as and to see some of the newest product innovations that are happening. For example, there are a lot of AI product innovations that have been on display here. There are a lot of payment innovation because for the viewers that don't know, fintech is one of the most important industries in Africa because we're trying to connect payment from one country to another, as well as receive funding from outside Africa and different parts of the world. So yeah, so that's pretty much how information about the event goes out.
How would you advise people who are in tech to make sure that they are part of this kind of event whenever there is such event?
Yeah, so for people that are in tech, I'm going to plug my platform. So you can check out TechSoma. So it's TechSoma.Africa, and that's TechSoma.me, and then TechSoma.ca. You can always get information. We've already done tons of articles about day one of the event. We're going to do articles about day 2 and even about day 3. So there are other platforms, global platforms that you can read about information. You can also follow the organizers on social media. It's the Africa Tech Summit. Just search for them and you'll pretty much find them. So it's very straightforward to find.
Hi, I'm Gerald Black. I'm a tech ecosystem builder and also a tech storyteller. I make documentaries about tech and innovation across Africa. And here I'm at Sarit Center for the ATS event happening live in Nairobi, Kenya. And it's really interesting to see how all the players are coming together, the innovators, the entrepreneurs, the VCs, the investors are all coming together to shape Africa as the new frontier for innovation and development across Africa. And it's really interesting to see how tech is solving some of the most critical problems we have in Africa and also making them very scalable, right? So I'm having an amazing time and I'm very, very excited to be here in Kenya and of course in Nairobi. Go subscribe to my channel at Backend by Gerald Black. On YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram _Gerald Black and on Twitter as well _Gerald Black.
My intention is to travel and share with you my experiences traveling around the world, and for sure, Kenya is the best place that I'm starting. So hello Divine.
Hi.
We're right now at the tech event, and I can see a lot of Africans here with us. Tech is taking over the whole world.
Yes.
And being an African, tech is also coming to us at a very high speed. What do you think is the impact of tech in Africa, coupled with the standard of Africa as it is at now?
Okay. I think tech is an equalizer. So technology in itself, like the idea of tech, is meant to make your life easy. And if we spend a lot of time making tech or digital, in this case, let's talk about digital now, accessible to everyone, accessible to even the ones in the rural communities. You'll find that now technology becomes an equalizer, both socially and economically, right? If you look now in the context, let's say we're in Kenya. Kenya, with mobile money, and we talk about M-Pesa, there's a lot of leapfrogging that, and if you look at the evolution of technology, you can go from the industrial revolution and where we are, like tech has allowed Africa, in most African countries, to leapfrog. So as much as there is I think when you talk about the negative aspects of tech is when there is no access. But as long as we can fight for access for everyone and that there is digital inclusion, for example, tech now in that case becomes an equalizer. So if you look at now, and we talk about these technology companies and then tech-enabled companies. And I think we need to push for more tech-enabled companies and more tech-enabled businesses in every sector, so that it even becomes an enabler for growth. And you allow more people to become more economically fluid. There's more economic mobility for everyone. When we actually now take what tech is supposed to do and then allow that every business and embed technology, as opposed to running technology business, allowing every business to embed technology within their operations. And I think that's where that's the game changer.
Let's talk in terms of education and healthcare, because Africa is still not using technology as much as possible in terms of those areas. It's always hard for you to find very good schools in the rural areas. With this kind of events, are there ideas that can actually help to propel our education system and our medical system being exhibited in this kind of seminars?
I would say actually that if you look at now technology in health, so for example, being able to do diagnostic online, right? So diagnostic health is one of the challenges when you go into the rural areas, being able to go to a doctor and get the right diagnosis, right? So, and there's a lot of solutions. If you look at in Africa, actually, there are a lot of solutions and a lot of people who are really trying to solve for that and using technology and then using accessible technology, like being able to dial a USSD code and then being able to access a doctor. And the same for education. So just actually this conference, I met a couple of people, one of them in particular who is pairing teachers, like world-class teachers in the urban areas, matching them to students in rural areas. So the same education that and someone in Nairobi, for example, someone in a high-end or tier 1 school would have is accessible to someone who's seated somewhere in I want to say Kiambu, but Kiambu is very close. But let's say even Nyeri, like in the rural areas of Kenya. But it's the same. I think there's some solutions, similar solutions actually in Nigeria. I know that there's similar solutions in Ghana. But it's just the ability of using tech and connecting what could be less accessible in rural communities and making it accessible, and then using the right technology, because not everyone is going to have a phone. So when it comes to if somebody has a feature phone, somebody has a feature phone, can you actually access education? Can you actually access information? Can you access health or health information? I think the biggest thing about tech at the end of the day is how you are, because information, right? They say that information is power. And I think that's the thing that tech is able to do. So if you talk about high tech, you're so high tech, everybody here probably is talking about high tech, but I think there's many people in this group of people that you probably interacted with today who are really solving for how do we ensure that the services that are easily accessible in urban areas are also accessible in rural communities. Yes.
Thank you so much. So at this tech event, I met Nyawera, and she'll be telling us about how she thinks tech can also improve our education system. In the rural areas, we find it very difficult to fuse in technology into it because some communities you don't have electricity, you don't even have access to internet. The telecoms are not even in those locations. Since you're in the tech, edutech, how do you think it can impact on our system?
So first of all, I think we look at tech in very different ways.
Yeah.
And from an educational point of view, I think we need to see tech then more than just the internet.
Yeah.
Right. And I think tech will benefit us as Africans because we have a lot of untold stories.
Yes.
Right. The minute we start digitizing our experiences, our stories, then we create a wealth of knowledge that we can use to, do our own papers.
Yeah.
And I think West Africa does that better than like East
Africa.
and the rest of Africa.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, when you Google some of these things, it is from a perception of the outsiders.
Okay.
Right? But what are we doing as Africans about that? We're doing nothing. We're taking that information and putting that in our thesis and then hoping to pass.
Yeah.
But if we just took the time and made our stuff virtual, where you are putting that in somewhere concrete, the internet can come later.
All right.
Right? But what are we doing?
All right.
What are we doing about getting this down to a place where it can be collated, collected, and used for education?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. See you around.
All right. Thank you so much.
Obviously, I'm not here to joke. You're having challenges, moving from one place to another. There is a group called TRIPS. But I'm not the best person to introduce this company. I have here the CEO of TRIPS. Yes. Hello, Mr. Yoika.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Please, can you tell my guests more about what you do?
Okay, so TRIPS is a company that provides mobility services to move people from point A to point B. In the last 5 years, we've moved about 6 million people across Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Uganda, and the impact of our work has seen us also expand into this market. What we do is, when you get on the roads and you see traffic, everybody has a car or 2 cars at home, and they constantly want to get into their cars and get to work and go back in the evening. What we've done is we've provided them with an alternative to that. Instead of going with your car this time around, save that fuel, save the environment from CO2 emissions, and use our vehicles with other people that have similar minds. Our vehicles are safe, our vehicles are affordable, they're comfortable and predictable, and it allows you to commute and get to work safe, and then takes you back. So we do that with a lot of corporates. Currently move an average of about 8,000 people on a daily basis who are leaving their cars at home to now use street services to go to work and back.
You're just talking about the impact based on those who have cars. Even those who don't have cars can actually...
Yes, they can use our service as well. So you're able to just get in touch with our team and we create your own personalized mobility service to take you to work and back. More recently, we've identified the opportunity to expand into the travel space with vacation packages for people that want to explore Africa. Coming from North America, they're able to do that. Our work puts us in places where our headquarters is in Canada. So we see a lot of Canadians that are excited about moving to Africa or exploring Africa. We're able to provide that service as well. Second is also event trips, where an event like the African Tech Summit, there are people here, and this is the one reason why they will travel in Africa. But they're stuck to using Expedia for flights, hotel or booking.com. They get on Airbnb. They get to the airport. They have to figure out their transportation service, and then they're done with that. They get back into events like this. They have to figure out their tickets. They're done with that. They have to also figure out how they explore the area. And for us, yes, we're able to provide all of this in a package so that they can get a full package on our platform and then commute and explore the cities as they attend events. So this is something we're also providing for executives as well. I'm quite excited about its interest. In all of that, we're showing people how to explore Africa. We're showing people how to appreciate the continent. And when you travel for these events, you don't just stick yourself to the event. You can also explore, have the experience of the safari, have the experience of the wild, in addition to you traveling to different destinations. So we're doing that as well in trips, and we're quite excited about the opportunities that you see.
Yeah. My focus mostly is traveling Africa and how to empower other Africans. And for the fact that you have introduced such a brand, and it's really working for you within the African continent. You have been able to reach 4 different countries. It means you have been able to create employment within these African 4 countries, and at the same time you've been able to move people to make life much easier. That's the impact that you're making. How do you see traveling across borders, Africans and Africans?
I think there's an amazing opportunity for people to do that. AXA comes into play, and visa regimes begin to change to allow people to move from one country to the other. Like for instance, arriving in Kenya today, that's a lot more easier now for Africans to do so. You would see more cross. Well, and it's opening up, and it's better today than 5 years ago. And gradually, every single country and every single market, Nigeria can't be ignored. There are 200 million people that will, Nigerians love to travel. There are 200 million people that we want to explore, so it can't be ignored, but we will get there. But what I'm getting at is, as those visa regimes change, and Africa becomes one in how people can travel, just like you would have it with a Schengen visa and you're traveling across Europe, I think you would see a lot of cross-border business, and logistics as a bedrock will allow for free flow of business and transactions to happen across different markets. In trips last year, we successfully were able to get people to order on our platform to move from Nigeria, and they went to and they went into another country. They went back to Nigeria through our platform, and it was a first for us and a kind of business. And I think we're looking at more opportunities to explore how we do that across the continent. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's just open up more opportunities and more freedom of movement. The everyday consumer can use our brands, can use our service, you can book on our platform. But in addition to that, businesses that want to make bigger margins can also partner with us. So we're opening up the opportunity for business to make more money, make more transactions. And we become like an aggregator on the marketplace to connect them with the consumer. So that's pretty much our focus today as a business. Enabling more businesses on the continent, and also giving the opportunity for everyday users to also get the benefit of our services.
How is this tech event really going to impact on your brand?
I think it's massive. So 2 years ago, we launched in Kenya with this tech event. And it opened up opportunities for us to continue to connect with people. It's a melting point. There's so many people here, over 2,000 people that have come into this event to network and build businesses, and all across you can see that happening. I have had several strategic meetings with people that I may not have been successful doing from Toronto or from Dubai, and today I'm able to do that here, and everybody's here. I've been able to draw in friends and say, hey, come from Toronto, come to Nairobi and experience what the tech ecosystem is like. I've done the same for friends in the UAE to come in here. And so I think it's a melting point, and everybody is meeting everyone, and businesses are happening, deals are happening. And it's actually a significant one. It's maybe one of the best we have on the continent for this kind of value of networking with your co-business partners or future stakeholders that you want to do business with.
Now, advice to those in tech and those in other businesses, events like this, advice to other Africans who are actually having brands but are not taking advantage of tech events like this because the future is tech and they're not taking advantage. What do you think?
So yesterday I
like this to speak to them.
Okay, so yesterday I was having a conversation with African founders, and I said one of the biggest problems we have is how we tell our stories. There aren't many people telling their stories the right way for investors to connect with them, for investors to be able to network with them, and for them to grow their businesses. I have thrived in building networks like this. I constantly find myself in events like this to connect with people, to open up new business opportunities, to expose my business to new markets. And that is where businesses like this happen. Our expansion into this market happened because I met a founder that's doing something similar in a conference like this, and I was able to structure a business relationship with them, and that led us into our expansion into this market. It happened with many other people. So my advice to you is the biggest job of a CEO, I mean, apart from recruiting the right people on your team, making sure you don't run out of money, is to find ways to sell your business. And in selling your business, it's in events like this you do that. So for whatever opportunity you're able to craft out for yourself, be able to sell your business, please go ahead and do that. Tell your story so that people can connect with it, so that customers can connect with it, so that future talent can connect with it, and you just build an amazing business out of that. I have benefited from this, and I encourage you to do the same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
On this note, guys, you heard it all from the CEO. I always encourage you, find the next event near to you and visit them. You will never know the opportunity that will be awaiting you. For me, I have met so many people through events, and this is telling on me today. I can be able to reach out to somebody in terms of when I have a business or when I have something that needs to be done. Try to find yourself at an event all the time. Thank you so much, and until I see you on the next one, I remain Harry Tigansi Jingina. For the Harry Experience, it's goodbye. Thank you. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I would ask you this question not related to tech.
Okay.
Is this your first time visiting Kenya?
Yes, it's my first time visiting Kenya. Yeah,
because
thank
me
you.
now, I'm a host, I can tell you Kenya.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's my first time visiting Kenya.
Yeah.
Not just Kenya, it's my first time visiting an African country the last 6 years. So I'm based in Dubai, and a lot of my work has taken me across different parts of the world. But I'm very excited to be here in Africa. I'm looking forward to, for the rest of the year, visiting different parts of the continent, from Nigeria next month to Zanzibar to different parts of the continent.
So, what was your first impression arriving in Kenya?
Well, I like the. That's a very interesting question. Now, I have friends in Kenya that have told me a lot about Kenya, so there were things I was looking forward to. For someone that hasn't been to any African country the last 6 years, it reminded me back home of Nigeria, the vibrance, the natural fields and everything along the path from the airport towards where I live. So I pretty much enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the food, the variety of food options that are here. I see Kenya as a place where the West sees an opportunity to birth in Kenya before they reach the rest of Africa. So there's a lot of variety in food. There's a lot of variety in technology as well. I've seen the pace of mobile money like never before. So everyone has an M-Pesa account. It was pretty much easy for me to open, get a SIM card at the airport, and then even to set up an M-Pesa account, just visiting Safaricom's office and all of that. So I've seen a lot of those very interesting things around some of that pace of development. So yes, it does remind me a little bit about Nigeria. So yeah, it's been interesting so far.
Okay. Social life, I know you have not done anything, so we can't touch any of that.
Well, I have a little bit, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm a social butterfly. So, and one of the things about this event is because there's so many people in town from outside Kenya, there's always something happening every night. So we have been having all these mixers by different organizations, sharing mixers. So there are drinks, there's a chance to talk to people. We find that sometimes some of the best deals are done over some of these informal conversations. So it's always nice to be at these things. So I've visited quite a few places. I'm looking forward to visiting a couple of places. This isn't a holiday trip for me, it's a work trip. So I might not get the chance to do like the safari, which Kenya is very famous for, and some of the other things. But I definitely look forward to coming back here. I've heard about some very interesting places like the beaches of Diani, and even Mombasa as well. So the lakes, yes. So I look forward to coming back here very soon in order to experience more of the culture and the social life.
What is one thing you think Kenya can improve on?
I wouldn't say I've been here long enough to be able to give that particular
from just your coming, you don't have anything in particular that you have seen that you think can be improved? Obviously you don't have.
No, I don't. I can't think about anything. It's been very good. I like the pace. I like how safe it is. I like the vibrancy. I love the food. I love yamachoma. I have it in Dubai, so it was great to find the local feel of yamachoma here and some of the other things. So it's been a pretty good journey, and I think it will be great for the rest of the
Being a Nigerian, and we're encouraging traveling around other countries in Africa.
Yes.
Did you require to have a visa to come to Kenya?
Yes, I had to. So it's interesting because the president of Kenya, Ruto, has been all in the media around free visas, but so it's the ETA, electronic travel advice. So to them, it's like a sort of a freebie, but it's not free because I had to pay for my ETA.
But for other countries, they say it's free. Like Ghanaians is free, and Nigerians in quote is still not free. So I'm still surprised why that is still happening. But on that note, I want to say thank you for being on my show.
Thank you so
much. And I appreciate you guys. If you're watching this channel for the very first time, make sure you subscribe because I'll be sharing more events like this, hidden gems, and also sharing my traveling experience with you guys. Thank you so much. Ifeanyi, you can still give a shout out to your brand so that people can still check you out.
Yeah, so you can follow my brand, Texoma Africa, on social media. You can follow Texoma Middle East, Texoma ME on social media, and you can also follow Texoma Canada, Texoma CA on social media, and my personal brands, Ifeanyi Abraham, across all media platforms.
Thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Goodbye. Thank you so much, and until I see you on the next one, I remain Harry Tigansa Tingina. For the Harry Experience, it's goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.